about, I'd say, 9 months now. If you would have asked me on that time ago if I'd be standing here, I would have told you no. I just really want to talk about my background, and then I'm going to get into my story about Kibana. Pretty much my background was, as a kid, I grew up in a single-parent household. I really didn't get to know my dad. We didn't really have a good relationship until, I'd say, a couple months before he passed away, and that happened while I was actually at prep school. I was an obese kid. I was like 190 pounds, almost 200 pounds, 5 feet. I was 12 years old. All I wanted to do was play basketball, so I've been dealing with obstacles my whole life in adversity, so it just came natural to me, and I always had an attitude to never give up. So as I got older, my first thing was to lose all that weight so I could play basketball and become a great basketball player. I did that. And then I just wanted to continue. And then I want to fast forward now to in high school. I remember my mom coming home one day and telling me and my sister she was going to retire early, about 10 years early. I think she was 55. I don't know my mom's age. That's crazy. But she told us she was going to retire early because there's another person in her job who was in her early 30s, and she didn't have no source of income coming in. My mom had retirement, and at that time it was worth it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I could spend time with my mom at home. A year later, things just got bad, and I didn't know. How I found out was we actually went shopping at Kmart, and we walked out one day, and there was, oh man, I won't forget this. There was a boot on the car, and we literally came out, and the people that put it, that was there, was actually getting ready to leave. And my mom, we asked her, we'd stay right down the street, can you let us get at least home, because we had stuff in the car, and she said she would call the next day. So a couple months later, going into my senior year of high school, I actually dropped out of high school and my mom paid the bills. I worked under the table, and this time I always was a big dreamer, and I knew that there had to be something better. So my friend helped me get into prep school to play basketball so I could do what I knew best, and I ended up graduating, and I had actually some schools looking at me, and my dream was to play Division I basketball. I had that. I got an offer. I was getting ready to sign, and then my mom had financial problems in my family, and I'm really close to them. So I decided to put my dreams on hold, and at the time I was working, it got all the way up to like 3 jobs, and once we got on our feet, I was eventually going to decide to go back to college to try to get ahead and do something different to change my family's legacy. And it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I was a college student, my mom still was struggling, we got even farther in the hole. In that time, now I'm going to fast forward about a month before I got introduced to Kibana. Our house was getting foreclosed on. We were struggling to pay the bills. I had a job at our local YMCA. I did a lot of volunteer work too. And I just didn't get too much hours. And we were actually going to move to Florida to just try to get a new start. And it was just tough. There was times where I used to go grocery shopping and have to overdraft my cart. And literally, I'm not talking about a couple, like $20, $50. There was times, my account, my mom's account, we were like $600, $700 negative. So how can you get ahead like that? You can't. You need to do something different. So it was a blessing when I got introduced to Kibana. I answered an ad Melissa had posted in Craigslist, and immediately, as soon as I seen it, I knew I could change my mom's health, and I knew I could change our financial situation. So I got started immediately. How I got the money together was we were doing garage sales and yard sales to get the money together to move to Florida. And I actually took some of that money, asked my mom to borrow the money. And but I immediately made a sacrifice, and I sold a lot of stuff I didn't need. Old clothes, video games. I didn't have time to play it anyways. So I got rid of that stuff to get the money to get into Kibana. It was more. I wanted to change. And the only way to make a change is to come out of your comfort zone. And that's what I did. And early on, I was actually involved with a couple of the network marketing companies. They were all saturated and there wasn't a need for them. So I kind of blew my warm market early on. So I started with a lot of obstacles already, but it was nothing that I wasn't new to. So I refused to give up. My why was too strong. And so I immediately, as soon as I did my training, I knew I had to move fast. So I moved fast. I went through my whole warm market and my phone, but Rochester was only so small, so I knew I would come across people I knew. So about a week and a half later, I started going cold market, and my skills weren't there. But, you know, I just knew that I'd get better. And so I just kept talking to people. I did a Craigslist ad, and don't you know, the first thing that happened is I got ghosted. So that went against me too, but hey, it's nothing new. So I started actually doing resume leads, and for you guys that tried that, you actually have to, it's time consuming, and it's really not worth it to do resume ads. But I just kept going, and I'm gonna fast forward again towards the end of the year. Around, I'd say right before the holidays, our house did get foreclosed on. We did lose the house. We knew that was gonna happen because we just couldn't make the repairs. But I stayed the course because I knew what I had in my hand, and whatever happened, I knew my first thing I'm going to do is buy my mom a house. And so around the holidays, all we tried to do is the little bit of money that I did get for school, going to school, I actually spent that on Christmas for my nephews because I'm really close to them. And the oldest one, his dad doesn't do nothing for him, so he's like my son. And then the two younger ones, actually, their dad is dying of cancer, so he's not going to be around. I pretty much think it spread to his brain already, so this is going to be his last summer. So that just adds, my family is like everything. So. So going into the new year.
You go, Ray.
Use these? So going into the new year, around the holidays, no kid should have to experience this. I used to have to listen to my mom cry every night, trying to figure out how we were going to pay the rent. I used to have to listen to my mom cry every night trying to figure out how she was going to pay the rent. We moved in to an apartment complex in the summer I never experienced after living in the house for 18 years of my life. And what made it worse it wasn't the financial situation. It was her health. She was a diabetic. She had arthritis. She had bad heart problems. And I knew the stress was going to kill her if I didn't do something fast. So early on this year, when Danielle said, email me your goals for the year, I did it immediately. And in that email, all the goals I wrote down are coming true. beyond. It's unreal. And the first thing I had to do was start with my mindset. And I stuck the course. And I immediately, in January, I couldn't afford to go to that event. But when I heard about everybody, the next day, I immediately just knew I was going to be here at Foxwood. I didn't know how. I just knew it. I seen it. And from that day on, everything just started falling into place. I did set a goal by Foxwood to go from, I think I was an IBO or silver at the time, to go to platinum. I didn't hit platinum, but you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I became a better person. I became a better leader. I met some incredible people. Stuff happened to me that I just can't explain. And I guarantee it that in May, I will hit platinum and get the first part of the car bonus, and by national, I will be a diamond or beyond. I just want to end with, it's just, again, it's a true honor to be up here talking to you guys today. I never thought this would happen, or it's just unreal to be talking in front of so many people that I've looked up to since I've been in Chicago, that inspired me. And two stories that inspired me and that kept me going through the hard times, and I knew that I could do it, was Danielle Rich's story and Becky Ford's story. Yeah. I knew I could do it. And before I get off, I just want to say thank you to a couple amazing leaders, and I know you guys know, I'd like to, when my dad passed away, I inherited a suit, and I only had one suit, and the suit was too big for me. But anytime I wore it over the course of, I think I had it, he passed away in 06. I can't do math right now. We'll say that's about 8 years ago, we'll estimate. And, you know, buttons were falling off the suit. The shirt had spots on it. But anytime I wore that suit and going to do meetings, I felt like a millionaire no matter what. And the person I met with, they weren't paying attention to the suit. They were looking at me or the flip chart. So when Danielle asked me if I'd come on the stage, I said I'd be honored. And actually, Danielle, Don, Christina, Chris Upton, and Melissa, and Craig all got together to help me purchase a suit. So, I just like to say thank you guys so much. And being at this event, I got to walk around the casino and I felt like I owned the casino.
I just want to end with this because it's 4:30. You know, you were just, when I was down there, of course my eyes are a mess right now, but when I was down there listening to you, you know, there were so many women in this room that would be honored to have a son like you. You know, people who are selfless and give to others end up getting back 1,000-fold, and I'm watching Ray's dreams come true. When he called me, if you don't mind me sharing real quick, when he called me and said, "What do I wear?" I got off the phone and I said, "God, we have to get him a suit." And I texted my girls and I said, "Let's do this." And they said, in a heartbeat, we would do this. And he went to the store, and it was like Pretty Woman, but Pretty Dude, right? And he was so excited because it was like buy one, get one free at Men's Warehouse, and it ends up you have to buy a really expensive suit, so you don't get to buy one, get one free. And he calls up and I'm like, he's like, "But I don't have shoes and I don't want to do it." And he was very humble about it. Like, he didn't want to spend our money, but we were like, have a blast, go. So he's texting us, you know, "Do you like this shirt?" He's in Rochester, and he's sending it. I'm like, "Dad, look at this, look at, do you like it?" And the girls are like, "Oh yeah, we like that, Ray." And I told the sales guy, I'm like, did you take care of my boy? Because I had to give my credit card over the phone. He goes, ma'am, I'd like to think I did an amazing job with him today. He's a good young man. And I'm like, thank you, just take care of my boy. So he's ringing him up, and he gets to the end, and we hear the amount, which was probably more than we budgeted, but he goes, I'm going to start putting stuff away. And I said, don't put anything away. Not only did you earn this, I said, I want you to have this memory. He texted me back after, and I remember, Craig, I sent it to you, I sent it to Melissa and Christina, and he said, I got to have this memory with my mom. We had a blast. And I was telling Craig the story, and he said, let me buy him the tie. You know, we all know Craig and his ties, and you know, the whole nine. I think he's trying to compensate for the lack of hair, but no, I'm kidding. It's Evan's clogging. So Craig went, I mean, this is the kind of owners we have, okay? Picks out 2 ties, just on the photos he had after the dress shirts were picked out. This is a Craig Johansson original. And I said to Dad, I go, he's never going to wash those ties in that suit. I don't think after wearing it to Foxwoods. And you know what? There are so many more suits to come for you. There's so many lives that are going to be changed. I am honored to be